Hello, my outdoorsy peeps. My name is Kat, aka Kakibot, and today, or throughout the next week, I am taking you to 11 amazing parks here in Edinburgh. We're going to be going to some that you will probably already know about, but also some that are quite hidden gemmy. I'm going to give you pros and cons to each one of them, so you can make your own educated decision on which one is worth your time. Okay, let's explore! So now we are at the Meadows, which you probably already know is our probably most popular park. It's really close to most parts of the Edinburgh University. It's also connected to the Bransfield Links. Honestly, if you're not from here, it probably just seems like a one huge long park to you. But it's really nice if you want to walk from like Newington to Bransfield. You can basically walk the whole way through the park, and that's an amazing little trip because both those areas have nice little places to eat and get coffee from. Really fun. Pros of Meadows is it's huge. You will never have any issues finding a spot for a barbecue here. It's close to supermarkets and coffee shops and restaurants, by which I mostly mean like cafes that do nice lunchy things. And obviously you're also super duper close to Chivarino Slice, where you can get one of our favorite pizzas. Yum. Another pro is this is the place to go see some nice sakuras in spring. You can see that this year we are having a bit of a late bloomer season. It is the end of April now. It's like the last week of April, and as you can see, like we are not really in peak yet, which is nice because like normally they peak earlier and then the wind just like blows them all away. So I can't wait to come back here next week and hopefully they will be much more peaky than they are now. Now the cons. It gets a bit messy here sometimes because it's so popular and people come here to picnic and barbecue that very often in the evening you will walk around and you will see that there's going to be a lot of these disposable barbecues and just mess lying around. And honestly, sometimes it's kind of like partially fault of people and partially fault of the bins and the wind. Because if you have a lot of rubbish in the bins and the wind just kind of like put some power into it, like it's just gonna go all over the park. So yeah, don't expect this place to be super duper clean at all times because usually it's not. And another thing connected to the popularity of this place is that it can get kind of loud and kind of busy, and if you're just walking through, especially on a weekend, especially on a sunny weekend, you might find yourself being like stuck in a procession of people who are trying to get from one end to the other. And also because the sidewalks are basically divided between pedestrians and cyclists, there's not really that much space for walking. You might be walking much slower than usual because you will be stuck behind like 50 other people. That happens. Now we are at INVERLEITH Park, the Meadows of the North, and I would say this is possibly the best park we have here in Edinburgh because it is humongous, there's so much stuff to do, it has beautiful views, and really the only downside is that it's a bit out of the way, but not necessarily for everyone. If you're staying in Leith or in Newtown, I think it's perfectly walkable. If you're staying kind of further than that, then it might not be that great, but you can always take a bus or a taxi. Anyway, yes, pros. There's a lot of stuff to do here. There's a lot of places to do sports. There's a ping pong table to use. There's a rugby field. There's like tennis fields. That's probably not the word for it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. What is the court? Thank you. I grew up in a very tennisy family, so I'm surprised that I don't remember this. Oh well, sports. And yeah, again, amazing views. It's right next to the botanics. Right now, if you're visiting, then obviously you have to make a reservation to visit the botanics, but perhaps when you're watching this later in the year, you won't have to do that anymore, and you will be able to visit INVERLEITH Park and then go straight to the botanics and enjoy some of their amazing floral goodness. Cons, far away from some of the central parts of the city, but again, we do have good public transport, so this shouldn't be a problem. And also in the summer, I think this is the place where the foodie festival takes place, so that's fun. Not sure if that's gonna happen this year, but last year, even during the pandemic, we had like a street food market, I think, that took place here, which was nice and like socially distanced. So I'm hoping that if the foodie festival is not coming back, then at least some nice street food is. Yay! Now we are at Blackford Hill, and I'm not sure if this really qualifies as a park, but I don't care. I love it here, so I wanted this to be a part of this video. This is the best place to get views because obviously you're not at the castle and you're not on Arthur's Seat, therefore you get views of both. And not just that, you also get views of literally all of Edinburgh, which is amazing. You can see the whole Firth of Forth, you can see into Fife, you can see into East Lothian, and behind me is the Pentlands, which are not going to be a part of this video because that would probably make it like 2 hours long. Anyway, so yes, pros of Blackford Hill: views. Also, it smells like sunscreen here because there's a lot of gorse, and that's just that like coconutty vanilla smell. Amazing. Lot of dogs. Yeah, it's honestly like we got out of the car and it smelled amazing. Like the air just smells like nature. So if even in Edinburgh you feel like the air is just a bit suffocating, just come to Blackford Hill. Amazing. Now, cons. This place is surrounded by golf courses, so if you get hit by a golf ball, that's not on me, that's a regular sports injury. And also it's kind of out of the way. It's kind of as south as you can go in Edinburgh to still feel like you're in Edinburgh. As you can see, like behind me, it's just like wilderness and the Pentlands and borders, I guess. But you can still take the bus here, no worries. I googled it before, but I can't even remember my phone number. Therefore, I definitely do not remember what buses you can take here. Yes, buses 24, 38 and 41, or a taxi. So this behind me is the CRAIGMILLAR Castle, and this around me is the CRAIGMILLAR Castle Park, and this is where, my friends, you come to live out your wildest Gygaxian Tolkien-esque fantasies. Pros: This place literally looks like the map from The Witcher 3. Also, it's right next to one of our largest hospitals, so if you sprain your ankle, you can probably make it to the hospital yourself. You don't even have to call one of the ambulances. Another pro, obviously, there's an actual medieval castle here, which sometimes is even open for you to visit. Cons, right now it isn't open because of the pandemic, but hopefully that's not gonna take too much longer. Another con is this place, I would say, definitely isn't walkable from pretty much anywhere you might want to be staying while visiting Edinburgh, unless you are a local who lives kind of in the south part of Edinburgh. It might take some research for you to get around here. And now we are in Holyrood Park, this amazing area around Edinburgh's favorite volcano, Arthur's Seat. If you're not quite into climbing the seats, you can visit all sorts of cute little bits of this park, like the little castle ruin, or not, it's not a castle, the little ruin, the little sort of gothic romantic ruin of something. I'm gonna tell you what it is down here below. There's also the Craigs, which is kind of like Arthur's Seat light. There's also like a big flat area if you just want to walk in circles or have a little picnic. That's fine too. So, pros of this place, obviously it is so big that it's really easy to access it from literally anywhere in this town. So that's great. Also, there's so many different landscapes to this area. As I mentioned before, you can go super pro, you can go super rough and just essentially rock climb your way up Arthur's Seat, or you can just keep it really chill. You can visit a little swan lake down there. It's all super cute and there's just so many options. And my favorite bit is that if you walk down kind of between the two hills through the crack, through the cleft, then at one point you just don't see any of the city and you can just feel like you're in the Highlands, and it's wonderful. Also, there's quite a lot of sunshine hitting this place for quite a long time during the day and evening, which is great. And it's also an amazing place to watch sunrise and sunset, especially in the summer when sunrise and sunset is essentially happening within the same hour, at 3 a.m. Cons? Well, you have to be kind of ready, when it comes to your clothing and such when you come here, because if you want to really get down and dirty into Holyrood Park, you have to wear good shoes. My shoes today are not super good, which is why I'm only kind of on the outskirts of the park and not really making it into the proper depths. Another thing is, it's just straight up dangerous sometimes. There's a part of this park that's called the Radical Road, which already has quite a lot of drama about it, and that has been closed for the past, I think, a year and a half, because you can get killed there by a falling rock. And I have taken that road many times before, and yeah, I could have been dead. By the way, if you've been a fan of this channel for quite a long time, you might know that we have made a video about this park before, and for that video we actually did the proper circuit. So I'm gonna make sure that that video is linked at the end screen of this video, and also I'm gonna make sure that it's down in the doobly-doo if you're interested in more interesting, exciting details about Holyrood Park. Next up, Leith Links. And here's a little fact nugget for you. This is the actual birthplace of competitive golf. So if you're into golf, you should come here and have a look at the little statue that's here. And also there's like a little list of the original rules for golf, which are kind of hilarious. This park is located at the bottom of Leith Walk and Easter Road. So kind of if you live or if you stay at a hotel somewhere in like the EH6, EH7 areas, so like, you know, Leith and Abbey Hill and, you know, Easter Road and all of that, this is going to be super accessible for you. Again, this is quite a large park, so you don't have to worry about not having enough space for your fun summery shenanigans, and of course a lot of space to socially distance if you want to do that. I mean, you should want that. Everyone should still be doing that. Keep socially distancing. Don't come super close to me. I will be mad. No. But if you want to tell me that you like my videos, then please tell me I like that. It's okay. That doesn't make me mad. So, pros. This is a great park for foodies because you're around the Leith area where you can pick up so many great noms to take away. So, you know, in one of our latest videos, you saw us eat the stuff from Night's Kitchen here and the Bandits buns, and, you know, the list goes on and on. There's so many places you can pick up food from the shore area and from Leith Walk. So this makes it the perfect spot to actually sit down and eat that. Or you can bring your own picnic, of course. Another pro, obviously, the golf thing. This place is touched by history, and I think what's really special about this place is that there's this little part of it called the community croft, and it's like a little allotment, like a garden allotment that's accessible to everyone. And I think that during weekdays you can also get little coffee there, and sometimes I think that it depends on like where the pandemic is and like how bad the lockdown is, but sometimes you can also get some street food there. The obvious con would be, again, this might not be super accessible to people who are visiting for a short time and are staying in the city center, or if they're staying kind of in like the Meadows area. Also, I guess that one tiny downside, one tiny con would be that because this is in Leith, this is really close to the sea, and in general I would say that the weather closer to the coast is a bit harsher than if you're in the city center. So like it tends to be windier down here and a bit colder as well. So now we are sitting at STARBANK Park, which I am actually visiting for the first time ever, and I'm totally in love with it. This is a park for people who appreciate the finer things in life. It's super pretty, and it has the most exquisite, beautiful views of the Forth and Fife, and on a day like this, perfect. So the obvious pros, this is a beautiful award-winning park. It won the Green Flag Award, and also it's like kept up so well. There's like so many beautiful flowers, and it might be just because it's spring and everything is in bloom, but I'm definitely gonna come back and see if the flower situation is just as amazing throughout the year. Cons? I don't know, maybe it's a bit windier here sometimes because like you're right next to the sea. Another potential con is that it is a small-ish park. It's definitely a lot smaller than some of the other parks we have visited in this video. Therefore, I don't know, maybe you would feel like there's not enough space to like set up a picnic. But I mean, today it's a wonderful day again, and it doesn't seem like there's too many people. I think that this is a bit of a hidden gem situation. Not that many people go out of their way to come here from other parts of town. Therefore, I don't think that you actually have to worry about it. Now we have a bit of a twofer for you, because these two parks are really close to each other and they are conveniently connected by one of our best cycle paths. So this is the general sort of Warriston and Leith area. This is the St. Mark's Park, which to me sounds like the assistant from Ugly Betty, but I'm getting distracted. The other park is called Victoria Park, so both sound very fancy. Anyway, they are both kind of smallish and kind of hidden away, and if you don't live around here, you might not even know they exist. But yeah, that is definitely one of the pros. These are quite hidden gemmy. Also, yeah, one of the pros is definitely that if you're a bike rider, you will probably enjoy exploring these because they will be super convenient for you to get to. Cons, maybe they're a bit on the smaller side compared to some of the large parks we visited in this video. Also, I just noticed that St. Mark's Park has a community woodland, which I'm gonna go explore now. I'm off to explore. Bye. Now we are in Lochend Park, and I think this is quite a hidden gem. Most people don't know this park unless they live around here. It's kind of nestled between Abbey Hill and Meadowbank and Lochend and Restalrig, so it's kind of like on your way to, I mean, you could say like on your way to Leith from certain parts of town. It's also pretty close to the Holyrood Park, so if you want to have like a quieter alternative to that, then maybe you should give it a go. I call this place the Bird Park because it is full of birds. There is a big lake in the middle and a path that goes around, and you can watch birds and like bird babies from it, and not just birds. And this is probably not going to be a selling point to most of you, but you can also sometimes meet some rats here, and I like rats because I used to have pet rats, so I love that. Anyway, it's really cute here. It has a strong sort of lakey smell here, and I love it. So pros of this place, obviously all the birds. If you love birds, this is the place to go. I think it's a fun place to take your kids. There's also a lot of doggies that you can meet here. I think that it's quite a quiet park, so when other parks are quite busy, I think this one usually still has some space for you to set up a little barbecue or something like that. You can also do little like runs around the lake usually, and that takes me to the cons. This park is sometimes a bit of a mess. Like right now it's partially flooded. It looks pretty good in photographs, but unfortunately it kind of breaks the circuits that you can do around the lake. The birds seem to like it though. Also, the risk of being pooped on by a bird is probably significant. And if you don't like rats, then rats. Did I sell this to you? It's a really nice park. There's also like a bunch of like historical little structures. Like there's an old little dugott. Come here for all your swans and ducks and coots and moorhens and geese. There's geese. There's just all the birds. This amazing place is the HILLWOOD Park, which is on Corstorphine Hill. It's sharing Corstorphine Hill with the zoo. So if you're coming to this part of town to visit the zoo, maybe you can also come here and live your best elfie life, because this is very much a LARPy sort of sort of park. As you can see, like again, very Tolkien-esque. Yeah, I'm looking around thinking I definitely need to come back and like cosplay as a female Aragorn or something like that. I am feeling very inspired by this amazing location. Now the pros, it's very fantasy-like, it's very sort of inspiring. Like if you're an artist or if you're like a fantasy writer, you will definitely find your natural muse here. It's also very unique, I think, like compared to a lot of the other parks we have in Edinburgh. This is very different. It's just very natural and wild, and it just feels like this magical forest. Like the only thing I'm missing here is like a proper mushroom circle, but I'm pretty sure that like late summer there's probably mushroom circles galore around here. Cons, it's not really close to the city center. You might need to drive here, although no, you might, you know, just take a bus. Like, again, you can go to the zoo, you can take the bus to the zoo, and you can probably take the very same bus to here. Also, a thing to keep in mind, similarly to some of our other hilly parks, you should definitely bring a nice pair of shoes, because a lot of the paths here, like, they are in a good condition, but they are definitely rocky, and I imagine that if it's wet, they might also get slippery, so just be ready for that. Bring some good gear. And that was our not necessarily complete, but definitely very extensive list of amazing parks here in Edinburgh. Please let us know down in the comments below which is your favorite park in Edinburgh, and if we didn't make it a part of this list, why you think it should have been on this list and why we messed up. Or if you've never been to Edinburgh, tell us about your favorite park in your city, because parks are amazing. They are little green gems of every town we've ever been to. If you like our content and if you enjoy my face, don't forget to visit me on my Instagram accounts KakiBot and KakiBlog for my illustrations and my photos from Edinburgh and beyond. And as always, thank you for watching, especially you guys who always make it to the end. My to the end squad. Yes, I will see you all soon.